So I just wanted to mention, too, that as a representative from the Amyloidosis Support Group, that we're very proud to be part of the Amyloidosis Alliance, and I think this event is just one example of how we are stronger together. So I look forward to continuing to collaborate. And is this my, oh, this is the button, okay. So I wanted to just say a few words about the Amyloidosis Support Group, because that helped that organization, and the people in that organization helped me through getting back to work and getting through this diagnosis and the treatment, et cetera. So here's the web page. We do webinars a lot since COVID, when we stopped having as many in-person meetings, and all the information is there on the YouTube channel, and you can even search by topic, so that you don't have to look at you don't have to watch the entire webinar. You can look at a little section of the webinar. We have all these different Facebook groups. There's 10 of them. So you can join a Facebook group that's targeted to your interest. And then you have to answer a few questions. So we ensure that the people in the Facebook group are, legitimate patients and caregivers. And then we have this nice booklet that's available in multiple languages online. The book's on the left, and then the video on the right is also available in multiple languages with closed captions. And then a few demographics about the group, just to give a little feel for what's going on in the amyloidosis support group. So we have meetings in 30 plus cities, and those are ramping back up post-COVID, right? So we had all the webinars there in the interim, and then you see the Facebook membership. So as far as getting back to work, so I was diagnosed in November of 2013, and I did a few different rounds of different chemos, just a few varieties. None of them worked, but I continued to work full-time during those chemo sessions for those, it was about 8 months. And then I had my stem cell transplant in October of 2014. So I'm happy to say that this year I will be 10 years old. So I'll have my 10-year birthday in October. And I fortunately had a complete response. I did take short-term disability for 3 months during the recovery from the stem cell transplant, which I did through my employer. And then I returned back to that same employer and to the same job after my stem cell transplant. I worked part-time for about a month, and then returned to full-time after that. And I've been working full-time in the same company since then, or since even before the transplant. So this year is 26 years that I've been at the same company. And when I was thinking about returning to work, and the one thing I would say is that each patient journey is different, right? Each is unique, and you'll hear, you heard different stories already from the different videos and different people presenting, and that's one thing that I really noticed right away attending the support group meetings, is every patient's journey is unique, and I don't think we should try to base our own story or our own expectations on those of somebody else, right? And that's why I think that's really important that you pace yourself and you treat yourself as you would treat a loved one. I think a lot of times we try to do more, we expect more of ourselves than maybe we expect of other people. I think we should make sure that we treat ourselves well and that we're patient with ourselves. When I first returned back to work, I actually intended to work full-time right away after the 3 month, but I just couldn't do it. So I had to switch to part-time for a month. And I think that's important with that last point about working with the employer. So I think that's really important that you have those discussions with the employer and you set the expectations. And I think now we can even, this concept of working remotely is now an even more opening, right? More employers are open to that idea than I think they were before COVID. So I think that's important. And also, as I mentioned, setting reasonable goals for yourself, but I like to take naps. I don't do it as much as I used to, but certainly right after the stem cell transplant, naps were very important. It's amazing what a nap will do for you. And the last point I would make is about the working during treatment, that for me, as I mentioned, I still worked full-time when I did my initial chemo. And one thing I did was, based on some recommendations of others, was to have my treatments on a Thursday, because then you have your steroid high on Friday and your steroid crash on the weekends. So then I think it's important that you try to figure that out for yourself and also then work around your treatment if possible, or just take the time off Yeah. So, thank you guys. And I'm